And there's also this typecasting of he's an Indian composer. There's a Chinese composer.
Yes.
They never say that.
I know that very well.
They never say that about a European composer or American composer. They can do it. So it's fine. So literally, when I went to Hollywood, I chose not to do any Indian movies.
We met in 2006 in London. And I heard about you, of course, because you were already a megastar. But when I met you, I instantly became a fan of your character. And I was drawn to this humility and this incredible sense of grace.
Likewise.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Is it me, or do you find it's also difficult to be friends with famous people? It's difficult for...
I think you have to draw the line. You have to draw the line. And it's fine. Nothing like that. I think we all have to be human.
Yes.
Like when you go for prayer,
yes,
you don't even know who's next to you. It could be the king,
yes,
or like a very, very, very underprivileged person.
yes.
But in the eyes of God, we're all the same. So, it's hard, but that actually nullifies any of the ego when you go for prayer, or when you're in the the aircraft. Sometimes all economy class, and you're traveling with people, and you don't even know who is so spiritually rich in that.
That's fine.
No, we could be spiritually poor and they could be spiritually rich. And I always see people in that context. Yeah. Of course, when musician friends are special because I think we possess something which is greater because we go into a space which is in a way spiritual and beautiful. Another hemisphere. So we can correlate to that.
That's amazing. I have a question. I think everyone's wondering as well. I know the answer for myself. I'd love to know it from you. In an industry that is, we can say there's a lot of superficiality in any commercial industry.
That's because that superficiality is liked by a lot of people.
Yes,
it becomes a trend.
It becomes a trend. But in an industry that is like that, and it's so materialistic in many ways, like any industry, and the sacred or spiritual matters are irrelevant or just seen as odd. Mm-hmm. However, when we see someone like you, for example, who's really at the top in your area as a composer, as a musician, what keeps you grounded? What's the secret?
So I come from a musical family. My father, who got thrown out of his house, father and mother, they worked very hard to build a house for the children, like us.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So this is a story I heard. So he worked so hard and he fell ill and he died. But all the story, when I was very young. Mm. So I saw the rock bottom. And so even now it helps me, like whenever I'm taking a loan to get a studio built or to get an institution built, I always think like, will I be able to repay it? What happens? Something happens. So this question keeps coming in. Or whenever there is indulgences, the question keeps coming in, do you need it? Do you know? So this is the line again you had to draw. So sometimes you have to keep the, respect and what people believe in up. You can't just go. And sometimes you have to play. I tell my kids that. Sometimes, and it's not just because everybody's doing something you have to do it. You have to do a reality check. And so that is one. And when I was discovering the spirituality, and Sufism and all these things, when I studied about more deeper into it, it's about the basic thing about it is nullifying your ego. Mm. And, that is esoteric for a lot of people, but when you go deep in, there's a beauty in it. And again, now, being creative people, you can't do a song, okay, I'm very modest, let me do a very okay song. You have to have ego there. You have to have, energy of saying that I'm going to, let me make, God has made me like this. Let me bring out all the stuff which He gives me and show it in the song. You have to take it in that way and bring your work, which is very beautiful. But as a personal ego, you have to keep it down. It is what I learned over the
It's kind of battle.
Exactly,
Kind
it
of
is
balancing it all.
You can't say like, the idea of remembering death. You may be in the highest of high, but then you see, recently I saw so many political leaders who are worshipped as a god. And when they died, they're gone. Then you look at Michael Jackson, like he was the pinnacle of,
Yes.
any artist. And one day, he's no more. His aura lives on, his inspiration is there with us. But so all these stuff, like when something happens in your mind, it's gone. But then when you remember all this stuff, it's gone. So I would say these three things maybe, and also the blessing of prayers of my mother.
Yes, that's very
Prayers
good.
of my fans, and the love of brothers like you.
God bless you. Well, we have a lot of love for you. You're celebrating your 25th anniversary, right, in the film business. Congratulations. That's an amazing achievement. Tell me, do you still have the passion that you had at the very beginning?
Very
Is
good
it
question.
still there?
Very good question. So when I started, I didn't even know that I would be fitting into this one. I had the talent to sustain. When I did the first movie, when the composers that time would do 30 movies a year.
Yes.
They would have a whole band, day in and day out. They'll be recording songs and all this stuff. And Mr. Mani Ratnam, who's like my mentor and brother,
Yes.
when he introduced me, he found something in me, and I just surrendered. I said, I worked for 6 months or 1 year non-stop, doing just that one movie, left all the jobs. I didn't have money for petrol. I literally sometimes didn't go out in the car because I didn't have like 3,000 rupees, 4,000 rupees. No.
Oh my God.
I could have earned in ads, but then I left everything because I wanted to keep my mind very pure. So that happened.
Does that happen usually when you work on something? You
No,
kind
because
of go into
there, it was groundbreaking because I was trying to move away from what was happening. And my mind was trying to push almost like, mountains ahead.
Wow.
Push all these. I had to have the power to push all that and say, there's a little island oasis out there. And that's what I'm creating. And so I was sure about that. I didn't know that it will be so successful. And we believed in it. We enjoyed, all that stuff. What is the question?
Because I interrupted you. Actually, the question is, do you still have that same
so that was the first
spark, the magic, the
Yeah,
passion?
So the first movie,
Yes.
then I didn't know that I had anything else left in me. I was like exhausted. Next movie comes in, and the next director comes in, and then he gives another script, and then he has another lyric writer, so something else comes up. Then I decided, like, this is a cool thing. The blame is not, you don't have to take the burden all yourself, because when you work with a team, the vibration and the nuances change. They take a lot of decisions. You get the name. So that happened, and it kept going on. And then knowing me that I get restless after 3 years, Hindi happened.
The Hindi movies.
Hindi movies from South India to North India. That finished, then 3 years finished, and then Bombay Dreams happened with Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yes.
He was like my Western mentor, I could say. Amazing.
Wow.
Very kind.
There's a lot of love for you.
A lot of love, inspiration, and he still believes, he calls up very fondly. And then that finished, and then 2006 was, and there was a dry area thing, because I was disoriented. I was in London a lot.
Yes.
When I came back, there was this, you learn something new, and then you have this old self.
Yes.
And then, so now you're kind of mixing both. And by then, Slumdog Millionaire happened.
Yeah.
And that, what all happened.
That was amazing.
That was great. Now, you won 2 Oscars, Grammys, everything. Now, you want to go back, and then you don't want to do the same thing again. These 5 songs, and it's great.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way it reaches, millions of people. Then I used to take these long flights to LA. Like monthly, 4 trips go up, to and fro. So I started writing stories. I said, nobody's making musical stories, so let's think about it.
Yes.
Even if we fail, it's fine. Then I took some workshops in Hollywood and made some friends, and because I'm an academy member there, I had access to a lot of good things. And the school, which happened in 2008, educating the locals and giving back whatever I learned, that completely changed me. And because you don't want to be a retired person where kids look up to you, so you did great music, you have to keep walking, running. And that actually kind of in a way propels me to work harder.
Mm-hmm.
If I do bad music, they're going to get, this is the school you're studying, so now you have a lot of things hanging on your head. So that pushes me to, let me do this stuff. There's a kind of courageous, I've become like that rather than, and the more older you become, you're hitting the wall. So you might as well do it, right?
Yes.
That is one more thing, yeah.
It shows that you're not just a remarkable musician, you believe in giving back, which is what remains afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, when you can really do it, when it's not, you're not going out of the way to do that, it's just like a small step for me. And so my family supports, my sister runs it. My mother's an inspiration again for that. And all those lovely people working out there, I mean, beautiful team.
You're a school, right?
Yeah.
You're actually a school.
Yeah, my school.
You're a school. I was with an engineer once. We were in Asia. Mm-hmm. And somewhere in Asia, not in India. And the engineer, he was like, he was trying to show me his work. And I realized actually there's a whole generation of people who are literally copying you. They're copying your sound, right? They copy your...
Well, I wouldn't say copying.
How do you feel about that?
No, the thing is...
Is it flattering?
It is flattering in a way. I think now they're discovering themselves. I could see that initially it was like blunt copying of... Now they're discovering... when I hear the radio, I feel so good. The sound is great and, they have, they're focusing on, the arrangement
Yes.
and the sound. And
Yes.
You play Western radio and you play Indian radio. Indian radio sounds more exciting now. There's so much of variety, eclecticness.
Yes.
Than just the same monotonous, EDM or
Yes.
one kind of style playing. Okay, this is what is a world hit.
Yes.
250 million people have, watched it. And so we have much more variety.
That's right.
And different languages.
That's right.
And so that's a good thing. And the thing is, how do you go forward? So now you have
That's a different...
you have these thousands of people, and what are you going to do?
And everyone's looking at you and thinking, okay, what's his next step? What's he doing?
Whether you had to go 2 steps backward or 2 steps forward. So that's inside. Like now, the old music has become like old wine. It's become more tasty for them. And they say, I want more of that. I said, no. This will become, once this becomes older.
That's right.
So you need to understand, it's a very complicated understanding. We have to, where to draw the line again. If you have a conductor and then the conductor starts following a snare drum play, which happened to me when I conducted. So everybody had collapsed because he couldn't be in tempo. I was trying to match his tempo again. So it became a reverse and it collapsed.
Oh.
Anyway, so...
This was Birmingham?
Birmingham. Oops.
That's amazing. I want to ask you one more personal question about you, and then I want to go a little bit into philosophy and spirituality and other things. You won a double Oscar for a hit movie in Hollywood, which was an incredible achievement. I don't think people really understand how big of a deal that is. Tell me about, because you also gave a very interesting speech. I remember that speech. Tell me about how it led to that, the leading up to it, how it was and how you felt and all the different emotions.
Yeah, and I think, as I said, 2000 when I went to London, it revealed me a whole new world, being in London. Till then you are like...
You like London? You're a fan of London?
No, I love London because I think...
It is the most awesome city in the world.
It is. It's... I don't know about Brexit now. For
Oh no! Yes, my condolences to everybody.
I know. So
You were saying you love London.
yeah, the most if you sit there, the aura itself makes you feel create something extraordinary because you have all these people. You can't do anything BS there, and so that's a great thing. And then you realize the value of art, where you stand as a composer. You may get all these adulations, but where are you? If I can gauge myself where I am, though I always feel that sometimes, most of the time, the best music is the music when you don't exist, and you have the Almighty becoming your sound, and radical people say like what, but whatever explanation you give to it is when you lose yourself and then you become the art, and sometimes there's certain portions of certain things which I feel like wow when I heard it back. In India, people were very frustrated.
Right.
Every time they would send a film, maybe Lagan got nominated, Salam Bombay. So not in 1% I thought that, I would get an Oscar. I was always praying that, somebody should get it and make these people happy. It is a very pure intention.
Yes.
And even when Danny came in and gave me the DVD and said, I want you to do the music, not even 1%. And when I did the cues, not even like 0.1% I thought. But that destiny plays a very different way of looking at things. And what Indians think is great as film art, West doesn't care about it. And there is
Why is that, do you think? Why is
because
that?
it's cultural differences. We are trying to cater to our people's happiness. And it differs from place to place,
Yes.
Culturally and artistically, and in the West they've seen a lot more, and here we are trying to. There is a confusion because they divide the audiences into A, B, C.
Yes.
So the money always comes from B and C. A always doesn't care. They go to multiplexes and watch.
Right.
So if a movie is a hit, it has to be A, B, and C. Very rarely, certain movies have all three. So that's why they go behind big heroes because they get a draw and
Yes.
yeah. So then you can't achieve everything. You want this ABC, and you want it to go to the Oscars, and you want So you have to draw the line. You have to focus on certain things. What artistically would eye of the beholder again. And so I think Slumdog Millionaire fit the bill perfectly because it was done by a British director, one of the most amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I think when I work with the director, I look through his eyes. And then that happened more. And then I did one more movie with him, 127 hours. And then he did the Olympics.
I watched that. Excellent.
Yeah. And there's also this typecasting of he's an Indian composer. There's a Chinese composer.
Yes.
They never say that.
I know that very well.
They never say that about a European composer or American composer. They can do it. So it's fine. So literally, when I went to Hollywood, I chose not to do any Indian movies. So I did, Vince Vaughn movie, Couples Retreat. I did 127 Hours. I did Pele, and because as musically, I've seen that. Almost 25 years I've worked on that.
Yes.
So I wanted to go. 20 years. So I wanted to go and see what I'm capable of, or jump into the fire and see what happens.
Yes.
So the Oscar is a very complicated situation. If you understand, if you try to understand, analyze it, and decode, this is like a pattern in my life. When I did my first movie, it takes probably 100 movies for one to get a national award. I got it on the first.
Wow.
So everybody said, "You got the best award. What are you going to do now?" I said, "We'll find something." So the Oscars were typically it gave me a recognition all over the world.
Yes.
I can go anywhere and people have seen Slumdog. They know Jai Ho, and I use it whenever I need it.
Yes. What do you think about the state of the world at the moment from a spiritual point of view?
I think if you just put everything aside,
yes,
and then listen to your heart, what does your heart say? I keep saying this because the truth is in the heart. There's an ancient poem saying that you can break a masjid, you You can break a temple, break a church, but don't break a heart. That's where God resides. The limited knowledge, we are foolishly trying to make each of us unhappy and feel that you're not good enough.
Yes.
And we are good enough, you're not good enough.
Yeah.
We are rich, you're poor. We are talented, you're not. All this stuff.
We're developed and you're developing.
Exactly. Yeah, all that stuff comes in. But like a lot of French people I've met, they have this very beautiful answer. My assistant, Vivian Jacques, so she was intern, then she won a Grammy for Slumdog,
Oh,
sound engineering. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So I keep asking her, and she's a very good mirror for me. I asked her once, what do you want to become? And she said, I want to be happy.
Oh.
Literally, that's it. You can be happy with $100. You can't be happy with probably $1 billion because you have so much pulling you.
Yes.
From being happy. And there's so many things you're answerable. The less you have, probably the more happy you are. Decent amount. Just to have a family, to educate your kids.
Basic necessities.
I think that is probably the foundation of spiritualism in a way. But you know what? If given a choice, I would be that. But then if I buy, I can't do things for other people, and so I have to put on these roles, these hats, and start doing things because I can do it at the position I am in. By the grace of God. Simple. My life is explained now in 2 sentences.
Basically, humility, gratitude.
Yeah. And recognizing something just beyond.
Yes.
It'll be foolish not to recognize it. Okay, the word G-O-D is a bothering for you, but then in whatever you imagine it, you have to surrender to the bigness of all this stuff. It might take like millions of lifetimes if you have given to understand.
Yes.
Or you could just take a second if you get the blessing to understand everything.
Yes.
The deepest thought about renunciation is when you're chasing something, it never comes to you. When you renounce it, it comes to you, but then you don't need renunciation after that.
Wow.
So, can you renounce it? Is the task. If you are so lustful about anything, it'll never come to you. And after that, it'll come to you, and then you don't care because you know that you can live without it. It's there, it's fine.
Yes.
So, it's a very. I used to order keyboards. And because in India it used to take a month or two, it'll be in the customs. Then every day we'll ask, has it come in? No, the officer has gone out, it'll take another week. So next week you call, has it come in? Then you feel like I don't need it, and then boom, it's there. So it's like, every time I feel like when I say that I don't need it, when I really see from my heart, it's there next to me. When I'm calling constantly, like it's a lesson how each one of us learn in a very different way.
That's incredible.
So maybe
but I totally understand where you're coming from. Totally relate to it. I made my trip to see you in India, and we took a little trip, didn't we, to a very beautiful place, sacred place, and it took like 10 hours to get there. 6. I said 13. I'm not very good at numbers.
Maybe, because I think we went in this a caravan bus. So.
Yes, you said caravan. I was thinking it's a traditional caravan, with horses. And I came out and I saw this giant bus with a luxury bus with a bed in it. And you offered me
I wanted to treat you well.
I was humble. Then you offered me the bed and I said, no, brother, no. And then within 1 hour, I regretted it. The roads were so small. But it was an amazing trip. It was a profoundly spiritual trip.
Yeah.
Because we essentially went there for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We made a six-hour trip. Maybe it was a little longer.
We went to Nagur.
Yes, it was beautiful.
And it's another place where it's not just Muslims, Hindus. And there's big stories, even like 60, 70 years back, how people went there for a child, and they're blessed, and a lot of history. Beautiful. And we also have a church, Velangani. So a lot of people make this trip and then go to Velangani. They come back in the south. It's like very famous.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Next interview, I'll be asking the questions.
No.